What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and tonight we're going to be talking about some major reports that dropped for Modern Warfare 2, the ability to get even earlier access to the game, and even a preview of the brand new content that's live in Vanguard and Warzone. Definitely stay tuned. But before we jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, drop a like, and make sure you have notifications on to stay up to date with everything going on in Cold War 2, Warzone, Modern Warfare 2, and any other future Call of Duty as well. Hopefully my voice sounds alright in this commentary. We've streamed for an unhealthy amount of hours over the past day and a half, so definitely excuse how I sound here in this video tonight. But I want to thank all you guys out there for an incredible live stream earlier this afternoon where we went ahead and grinded Season 4 Reloaded, both Vanguard and Warzone. We had a ton of fun, and we managed to break over 105 members for the very first time here on the channel. Sincerely means the world to me, and I promise I'll have the membership page that pops up at the end of all of my videos updated this week to reflect all of our brand new members here on the channel. But first and definitely foremost, with the patch of Season 4 Reloaded, the usual suspects over on Twitter did go ahead and data mine the absolute living hell out of this update, and they went ahead and posted some very spicy information which both COD partners and the press have already reported on, so we should be safe to talk about this. I can't show anything spicy on screen for obvious reasons, of course, but as you may have heard already, the Call of Duty HQ application is set to release at some point this fall or very close to that Modern Warfare 2 release date. This is going to be that Disney Plus-like application that'll act as a hub for all Call of Duty experiences, likely just the currently updated Call of Duty experiences such as Black Ops Cold War, Vanguard, Modern Warfare 2, and then eventually Warzone 2. So I think the name of this app will be Call of Duty HQ, which is awesome. I wonder if it'll act in any way like the HQ we had in World War II 2017, where it's a giant hub-like space and you can actually walk around with dozens of other operators, and back in the day you're able to open up supply drops in front of them, whereas in a new iteration of that, maybe you'll be able to just showcase your blueprints at a little firing range. You can do maybe 1v1s again. It's unclear how this hub is going to work, but at the very least it'll be a very organized way to access everything to do with Call of Duty. And through the early information about Call of Duty HQ, we did get confirmation essentially that Warzone 2 will have the Roman numeral 2 similar to the upcoming release of MWII, so that'll likely be the way they end up marketing Warzone 2 at some point this fall. Like I mentioned in previous videos, this fall is going to be huge. I mean, the beginning of Call of Duty 2.0, as Activision has stressed already, is about to be wild. I mean, not only do we have Modern Warfare 2, which is going to be massive, but then we have potentially Warzone Mobile this fall. We're definitely getting Warzone 2 before the end of the year, and then there's Call of Duty HQ-like application, which is going to change the way we play Call of Duty forever, and will likely innovate on the social space, or the social aspect of COD, where you'll be able to go to your friends list and see exactly what game they're playing, what mode and map, maybe the ability to interact with them in ways we weren't able to before, and hopefully it irons out any of the issues we've had in the past with the Activision ID system. But that's not the biggest report of the day. As we were streaming Rebirth of the Dead earlier, we then got a report which says that apparently there will be an early access period for the Modern Warfare 2 campaign. I'm not kidding. So according to these usual suspects online that post early info, apparently this may be something that's offered relatively soon, potentially during Season 4 Reloaded. Again, it is not confirmed, take it all with a grain of salt, but it's likely something that, if it's going to actually release, will end up releasing in the next month-ish, maybe before Season 5. That's probably what's going to happen, considering the rumors of an alpha for Modern Warfare 2 have kind of died down a bit, but when the rumors were hot for an alpha, rumors suggested that an alpha would be happening at some point in August, and we know Season 5 is scheduled for, what, August 24th? So I think if there is an early access window for the campaign, it might be before that date. So maybe instead of getting a multiplayer alpha with access to gunfight or another mode, the alpha is going to be like a campaign demo. Now, it's unclear if it'll be the entire campaign. I highly doubt it, but that's always possible too, considering, if you guys remember correctly, Modern Warfare 1 Remastered in 2016 actually offered something similar to this. You were able to play that game's campaign 30 days early if you pre-order the Infinite Warfare Ultimate Edition, but only on PlayStation. So that was a Sony exclusive deal for MWII back in the day, and this will be, what, the second time where a campaign demo actually happens for Call of Duty. But other rumors have suggested today that this campaign demo of sorts will also be PlayStation exclusive. Again, that is not confirmed, but I think that makes sense, because that would essentially be Sony's last opportunity to do something like this, considering Microsoft is about to take charge any day now with Activision Blizzard, and we'll likely never see an exclusive offer like that from PlayStation again, at least not for the foreseeable future. We know Phil Spencer already promised that they'll be honoring any existing contracts between Sony and Activision, but I think in terms of a deal like this, with 30 days of access to a campaign, Modern Warfare 2 might be the last chance for Sony to do that. Now, I will say this, if it is the entire campaign, I'm not mad about that, because honestly, I think the launch of a new Call of Duty is always hectic, even if you're just a casual that just wants to play the game normally, but especially for content creators who want to really focus on making the right videos on day one, it gets overwhelming trying to think of what videos you should make from which mode, what you should focus on first. It's always wild, especially for trailer games that have zombies, but for Modern Warfare 2's sake, I mean, this would be awesome to be able to cover the campaign 30 days early, stream it all, go platinum, or get at least a couple of trophies in it, I should say, and then maybe make some videos about the campaign, story explanations, and then when the game actually launches on October 28th, you can go ahead and just focus on the multiplayer or the Spec Ops. I'm totally on board with this, and I've said this for years now. I think campaign demos or early access to them is always beneficial for the COD player base so that the player base isn't too split on what to play on day one. Now, I think this would also make sense considering how quiet the marketing has been for Modern Warfare 2 lately. I've said it before, you know what, the approach to the marketing for MW2 was kind of understandable at first. They wanted to start marketing the game as early as possible considering the shortcomings of Vanguard this year, so I get Activision wanting to move on and quickly start marketing Modern Warfare 2, but then to have a good 2 months of silence, I had a feeling that something was being planned here, so maybe what their surprise is this. Early access to the campaign as soon as possible, and then that'll kind of keep us going until the official multiplayer reveal in September, followed by the beta in the middle of that month as well. Now, when it comes to the new content that's live in Season 4 Reloaded, as I covered on stream earlier, we have the brand new Vargo-S assault rifle, which I'll talk a little bit more about in my upcoming video that I have saved for tomorrow, where I'll do a full comparison to the Cold War Vargo. But real quickly, I do want to say the unlock challenge for this AR might just be one of the easiest unlock challenges in Call of Duty history. So take a look at this, right? You only have to get 15 close range kills. You could do them all in a single match if you want to. So go to the right playlist over in Vanguard, right? The small maps playlist. You can even try the 24/7 place of Desolation. That's where I went to and managed to do it in one game. You'll get a pop-up on screen when you do get the 15 close range kills. And it's really that simple. You don't have to do this in 15 different games. People speculated it was a typo to kind of explain why this challenge is so easy, and maybe they're going to change it tomorrow to where it's like, oh, get one close range kill in 15 different games. And no, that's probably not going to be the case, or else they probably would have said something by now. And this is awesome, right? I'm still conflicted on which Vargo is better, the Cold War one or the Vanguard one. Again, I'll talk more about that in depth when I do some more testing, and I'll include that in tomorrow's video. But this Vargo does feel pretty good in Warzone. You'll see some great gameplay with it here on Rebirth. I was enjoying it. I've tried different attachments on it. I don't think it's quite meta. Maybe with a buff, it could get to that level one day. But right now, it's just a fun weapon to use, and I'm cool with that, right? A weapon doesn't have to be meta to be fun to use. It's something just you can go ahead and use a couple of times, get a feel for, maybe get a video out covering it. It was awesome. So hopefully enjoy the brand new Vargo-S here in the background. But now when it comes to Rebirth of the Dead, the new zombies event that went live earlier this afternoon, and this event is honestly incredible. It practically is Haunting of Verdansk just on Rebirth. Very similar rule sets, similar gameplay designs with the zombies, same mechanics. I get that. So if you guys weren't a fan of Haunting of Verdansk, you might not like this mode, but if you just like zombies, love Rebirth, and maybe you enjoyed Haunting of Verdansk when that was out for MW and Cold War, you'll definitely have a good time on this mode. I mean, the rules are relatively simple. You have to get 4 syringes as a zombie to become a human again, but if you do an execution on a human while they're standing, you'll automatically be spawned back in. And it is resurgence, so keep that in mind, right? Once you die as a human, you become a zombie, and then if you die as a zombie, then that's kind of your last chance. You have to be brought back to return into the action. But it's like you have unlimited lives, essentially. If you keep becoming a zombie, becoming human again, and then vice versa, you can keep repeating that until your entire squad dies. And you'll see some very lucky clutches here in the gameplay. I mean, first off, we had a really lucky situation where a random managed to buy us all back in a very tough situation. We came back and won the game. Another scenario where I had to run to the toilet mid-match, died, came back to the room, and I was a zombie, and then became a human again to also clutch up that game. I mean, crazy things were happening on stream earlier. Glad you guys tuned in for that, because it was an incredible amount of fun. Now, it's brought to my attention, you do get a calling card for doing an execution on a human while playing as a zombie, but they have to be standing up. I didn't get it when I did an execution on somebody that was downed, so keep that in mind. You'll see the calling card on screen here. And I was thinking you would get a calling card for maybe winning a match, but you don't. I've heard rumors that you can get one by being the last human alive in a match, which is kind of hard to do because let's say you and your teammates are alive and you're the only humans left. I mean, one of you guys have taken one for the team so that somebody gets the calling card in that game. So it's a bit of a tough thing to accomplish. But yeah, let me know what calling cards you guys got down below in the comments. Now, it is confirmed that Rebirth of the Dead is staying live in Warzone until August 11th. And the reason they're ending the LTM on that day is because of the addition of Titanium Trials, another LTM and even an event that's coming into Warzone for the remainder of Season 4. So Titanium Trials is a bit of a Terminator twist on Iron Trials, as I've covered in previous videos. But throughout the duration of that event, which will last until August 24th, you can get your hands on on 3 brand new camos that you can apply on all your Vanguard weapons, and of course can be used in Warzone Pacific. Now, with that being said, the challenges are relatively straightforward. The first one is to complete all 8 challenges as a part of Titanium Trials and the event, and you can get your hands on the liquid metal camo, obviously Terminator themed. The other one is to get 20 wins in Titanium Trials, which isn't for the faint of heart. You definitely have to grind Warzone quite a bit to get that one done during the duration of this event. If you do that, you get the Skynet camo on all of your weapons, but then the Titanium Chrome camo can be unlocked after getting 5 Gulag kills over in Titanium Trials. It's probably one of the easier challenges as a part of the event, but there you have it. I mean, I'll be live with that event on August 11th. I'm looking forward to that, and the camos do sound pretty exciting. But as I mentioned last season, I'm all for DLC camos being added that you can actually earn for free that could then be applied on all of that game's weapons. That is an awesome feature that I hope also comes back in Modern Warfare 2 and the next Black Ops game in the future. This is definitely great for those out there that didn't grind Mastery camos in Vanguard, but still want to have a cool looking camo that is a little hard to get, but isn't as hard as grinding Atomic or Dark Ether. But I do get the criticism that Season 4 Reloaded is a bit interesting. I mean, I'm all for dropping a bunch of content on the release of a new season, but it also makes sense to kind of spread things out a little bit. Today was Rebirth of the Dead. We have the Terminator bundles dropping August 2nd, and then August 11th Titanium Trials with the 8 set of challenges to get your hands on 3 camos. They spread things pretty evenly to make sure that people are kept busy until the end of Season 4. Now, speaking of Warzone, today we got a buff to several Modern Warfare weapons. The Model 680, the VLK Rogue, we have the 725, the Uzi, the M13, Kilo 141, the AMAX, and even the Origin 12. So this is understandable considering these weapons will also likely be featured in some capacity in Modern Warfare 2, and as we're getting towards the multiplayer reveal of Modern Warfare 2, they want to keep driving more hype towards Modern Warfare weaponry to kind of get us in that feel again. So they're wanting to make sure that the meta kind of starts revolving more around modern weapons again and not a bunch of the classic weapons like we had in Cold War and Vanguard. But another big update is the fact that gaming insider Ralph's Valve is gone. So he put out a tweet the other day saying thank you and good night. He's leaving the leaking community. He will no longer be tweeting out any early information about Modern Warfare 2, and this is something that I actually expected, right? I talked about this in the podcast recently. I mean, he was pretty spot on with some of his reports when he first came out on Twitter and he started writing some articles, but then things got a bit weird when a bunch of claims he was making just got debunked either by official marketing or by counterclaims by gaming insider Tom Henderson and some other individuals. Things started getting weird. Then his Modern Warfare bias started to show, and I'm like, okay, something's a bit off about this guy, and I just couldn't put my finger on what it was. But then all of a sudden, I think there was a couple of claims over the last week about, you know, something happening in 2 weeks, the multiplayer reveal was soon. And then all of a sudden, that was getting debunked too, and now he's gone. So I think it was getting to the point where maybe the source he originally had ran out of info, or maybe he just had a bunch of lucky guesses that happened to come true based on a tiny bit of news that he kind of ripped from other people he talked to. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities as to how exactly Ralph operated, but I think he knew that if he continued to do what he was doing, he was quickly going to lose all of his following. People weren't going to trust him anymore. I mean, Charlie Intel very rarely ever mentioned Ralph. They do quote Tom Henderson from time to time, but I know the press is also very careful on who they exactly source for Call of Duty news and information. But it's like I always say, it's best to just wait for official marketing, or at least rumors that get verified by reliable members of the press, like Charlie Intel, like other websites, because then there aren't false expectations being set up where content doesn't even exist anyway. I think rumors about canceled content or planned material that gets changed at the last minute still isn't a good look for the COD community, right? It still hurts the game and the community in the long run. So hopefully we keep things to a minimum when it comes to spicy information on Modern Warfare 2, so that not as much info gets revealed early like we saw for MW 2019. But another big update regarding Modern Warfare 2 pre-orders. This is something that actually affected me. So they confirmed today that for those getting MW2 on Steam, you can get access to the pre-order bundles, the Ghost Legacy Pack, and the Final Judgment in Vanguard, MW, and Warzone on other platforms. Just connect your Steam account to your Call of Duty profile at the COD website. Now this is cool because I think when the pre-orders first went live, people noticed that on Steam, there is no mention anywhere of getting your hands on the Ghost Legacy Pack. And people out there also were confused about the fact that you had to pre-order MW2 through the Vanguard shop to get your hands on the Final Judgment pack. That has also seemingly been changed so that it's fair for everybody who might have already pre-ordered MW2 through the Steam page before they knew about having to get it through the Vanguard shop instead. And I also found it crazy that getting the Ultimate Edition on Steam would grant you with a little bit less content than if you got it on Battle.net. That was also weird to me, which is why I switched my pre-order over to Battle.net instead. But this is good for those out there that have kept a pre-order on Steam and were unclear about what the additional additional DLC is going to look like if you got the game on that platform. But that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Leave our thoughts down below in the comment section. What are your thoughts? The major reports regarding Modern Warfare 2, early access to the campaign, and also what are your thoughts on the brand new content that's live in Season 4 Reloaded? Really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everybody.